The style of your garage door sets the tone for your entire house. Let's find out how. Welcome to the Garage Authority podcast, powered by A1. I'm your host, Jonathan Phillips, and returning, the one and only Harvey boy, Chris. How's it going, brother?
Hey, John, what's up, man?
We had to bring you back on because last time we were talking about door prices and materials and everything that factors into it, but a lot of people, a big factor that most clients look at is just how it looks.
Yeah.
Right? Just what's the aesthetic of it. So that's why I wanted to bring you back on so we could talk about garage door styles from modern all the way to traditional, because I feel like you're the man for it, right?
And everything in between.
And everything in between. So what are the most popular styles that you see today?
Today, aside from HOA, I mean, because HOAs, you're going to have, you have to have this stamp pattern.
Little limited scope.
Yeah, there's two popular ones out there. One of them is the flush panel with the stacked windows on the side. Seems to be, it's a very contemporary look, and the people. It seems to be what they're driven to now because it's a very clean look. It looks really nice, especially if it's done right. And if you have opposing garage doors, a big door, small door, and you get the windows on the outsides of it, it makes it just ties in, and you're able to match that up with the windows of the house. And and that's probably the trendiest right now of popularity. Other than that, flush panel itself, just plain. Right. Everybody just likes that blank canvas.
Yeah.
Those are probably the two that we see the most as far as what they want. Unless you get into some of these, like, ooh, that one's really fancy. It looks all wood like a barn door.
Right.
But popularity, those are probably the two.
Now, how do you match style to architecture? Like when you're coming in as, the consultant, the garage door guy, kind of what experiences have you had with homeowners whenever they ask your opinion, since you are the expert?
We just wing it. No, that's a interesting question because a lot of people don't think about it. They're like, you go in there and, and after you establish that they need a new garage door, or they've told you that, hey, we want to, we're remodeling or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, what about this? Do we want to incorporate the curves of your archway over here into the curves of the windows, or do we want to? Are we going to incorporate the wood and the color of the shutters into the door, and things like that are very intrinsic into how you design that door and how you put it together. And that's one of the wonderful tools that we have. We're able to build that for them and put it on a picture of their house so that they can say, when we're sitting on a table like we are now with the customer, we're like, this is what it's going to look like in your house. What do you think? How does that look? And they can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if it's thumbs down, we can make adjustments to it and find out the one that does work. Yeah. Do we incorporate the straight edges, or we go more with the rounded edges? Do we, what kind of pattern do we do with the short panel, long panel? People don't think about that, but a short panel, especially if you put some vertical grooves in it, it's going to look a lot busier than a long panel. Right. Or a flush panel, which is going to be just that blank slate that, we talked about just a little bit ago.
Those were my two main points that I would always go. Kind of look at the house, and it's always fun taking the client out to the road and just kind of looking at it. And my favorite, what you were alluding to with the windows, is like curvature. Window inserts can completely change a door, especially, like you said, they have archways, so you get kind of that sunburst look inserts to them. Or like their windows, like, I have very plain, big windows, so it would look very strange on my home if my windows had inserts that made them just little squares. Yeah. Right? Maybe I'd want them to be more open. Maybe, a lot of people like to do an obscure or frosted glass on their long windows that are next to their front door. Okay, let's match that with the garage door, you know what I mean? Kind of make it pop a little bit. But ultimately, my question going out to the road and looking at it is, if the home was busy, let's make the garage door look busy to match. Because it's weird when you have this, and just on me, if you want that, do it. But when you have a busy home, especially with like a bunch of old school shingle siding and stuff like that, it's kind of fun to have a busy home. Looks a little strange sometimes if you have a busy home and then all of a sudden you just have flat
Yeah.
But maybe you want it to pop, I'm not a
Absolutely.
designer and I'm not the homeowner,
And
so
one
let's
of the-
do whatever you want.
One of the great tools we have is the other homes in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You can take them out and take them a walk down the road, and say, look at this style on this house, because this house looks very similar to yours, or it's got the same color pattern as yours, and look how their garage door looks on their house. Is that what you're looking for, or are you looking for something different? Do you want to go a different route with that?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times it happened. It's kind of like getting a new car, and all of a sudden you get a new car and you see it everywhere. You know what I mean? Like whenever you get a new Jeep or a new truck, and all of a sudden you just see that truck everywhere you go. One thing happened one day that caught me off guard, to where the guy's like, "Will you follow me to the type of door that I want?" And I'm okay. So he gets in his vehicle, I get in my work vehicle. We go maybe about 5 minutes from his house. He stops. He just points out the window at this one wood overlay door. He's like, "I want that." Okay, take a picture, keep driving. And I swear, ever since that day, that has happened more times than I can count, to where they're like, get a conversation with like a spouse or something like that. And they're like, "That one a couple blocks over." And then we all just get in our cars and drive by real quick. And I'm like, "All right, let's build that," or something similar to it. It's just very funny.
Yeah, because you can only look in a catalog so much.
Yeah. And then to actually see
bingo,
real life, touch, feel, smell, I wouldn't lick it, but
Oh, well, it depends on. No.
Now, the difference in between, we kind of talked about the flush style, modern style windows going down the side. So what's trending is the flush style, but what is absolutely timeless?
The Bridgeport.
Bridgeport?
Yeah, I mean,
What do you like about that?
I love the recessed, just clean straight lines. It looks like back 40, 50 years ago, when they actually built these doors by piece and put them together from wood. They made it. See, and a lot of people don't realize, they don't know how they're made, but they built them a lot like you make the cabinet doors in your house, or in your kitchen. I mean, so they were actual inserts. So that design, that short panel design, that long panel design, it's a stamp pattern now in steel, but back then it was made because they needed it for the strength and also to cut down on the weight. So you couldn't do a solid piece of wood because it would warp. So then they would do, okay, well, if we do this, well, then they cut out the inserts, and that's when they put the inserts in there so that they could cut the weight of the door down.
Nice.
So that it's timeless. It's been around for 50, 60 years. And
so now we
still
can
going
get
strong.
the look with all the benefits of modern at the same
Exactly.
time, which is super nice to deal with. Now, whenever people have multiple doors on their home, have you ever seen like mixing styles work?
I've never seen it work. And it's funny because you'll get to a customer's house and they're like, "Well, I just need this one door replaced. We don't even use the other door. We never use it. Don't have an opener on it. That's where my gym is. So don't even look at that door." And it's 30 years old, so we're replacing the big door. They don't make that door anymore.
Yeah.
And we can get close, but
It sticks out like a sore thumb once you really get them side by side.
You put them next to each other, and you can tell even that quarter of an inch or eighth of an inch of difference in the raised sections,
or the reveal on the
the
sides,
reveal,
shadow
everything,
lines.
shadow line. Oh my gosh, shadow lines. People are like, "Well, I never even saw those."
Yeah.
What are those? Well, yeah, you can tell by the shadow. I could you drive by a lot of doors, and you can tell the manufacturer just by the shadow line.
Yeah.
And just everything. No, it never works.
No. So listen,
answer
if you,
short.
especially if it's street facing, if there's one of them, you got to do all of them. The only time I've seen people mixing it up is there was street facing, and then they had a detached shop in the back to where he wanted full view for more natural light back there. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's out of the way.
I've seen that. On corner one side and then back, RV door for different style or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're putting them on the front of your house and they're next to each other, it's not going to work.
No. I mean, if you want it, I'll give you a yellow door here, hunter green over there. We'll get someone to paint that one purple, whatever you want.
Put some pink polka dots on it if you want it,
Just
but
don't be mad at me.
Exactly,
Don't be mad at me. So, how do regional styles differ? Because you got to be around and travel a little bit.
Yeah.
What regionally wise, how do you see the styles differ?
So it's more of an area thing than a regional thing.
Okay.
You're looking at the suburbs versus inner city versus out in the middle of nowhere. The urban development areas, and as you get in those different areas, you're going to see different different styles. Especially with HOA. I'm not a big HOA fan as far as garage doors because they make it like you have to make it this certain pattern.
I have no problem with an HOA on the outside. It's whenever an HOA is telling me what can be on the inside.
That's a good
I had
point,
an HOA to where the doors were the exact similar,
Yeah.
and he wanted an insulated one, like steel back, and
Right.
wasn't allowed to
Really?
get it insulated, even though the style's complete the same.
But I mean, you get to some areas like I know Dallas. There's a lot of wood overlays, but that's it's a requirement out there.
Right.
So you see regional differences, but they're not based on people's preferences. It's usually based on that's what was there before, or
Right.
that's what your HOA is requiring, or an ordinance of some sort that's requiring you to have it. But as far as customers' taste, like when you get out in the middle of nowhere where they don't have any restrictions, there's usually two factors that involve their choice. One of them is cost, and then the other one is going to be what does my wife want?
Yeah, definitely. My wife, I'm very interested. We have a newer door, so it's fine. But whenever we do get a new door, because I don't think this is the final place that we'll live, just with me working in the industry and how much she knows, because I'm geeking out about it, that is going to be quite funny as far as us differencing. I'm just like, because I'm going to be like, I don't like that style, but she's going to focus on the aesthetics, and it's just going to be really funny when we run into that. Now, what's your favorite style transformation that you've personally got to be a part of with a client?
Transformation?
Yeah. You went there, did some
see.
service, maybe you sold a door, and just after it got installed, you were like, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're like, ooh, that's a sexy door.
Yeah.
We did a transformation. They had a customer. They had some flush panels. That's what was put on the house when it was built, and they went to would be our Canyon Ridge style. This was back when I was with Ideal. It was our Pinnacle series, is what we called them, and they were just like some sexy doors, So you're like, oh, and after they are installed and they're just running smooth, and the customer comes out and they look at them and tears swell up because it's exactly what she pictured it looked like, and just that heartwarming, that was probably the biggest transformation as far as transforming a house and how it looks, because it changes the smile of the home drastically.
40% of the curb appeal. Like, it's a big deal.
It's huge.
And I don't even think it's ever been like a style for me. It's actually just been the client's reaction.
Yeah.
That's what's been like the biggest.
And that's probably why this one sticks in my heart the most, is probably because she literally was like starting to tear up because she was so happy with the way they looked.
Yeah, and that you get it. Like, that's her castle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you can complete that that image in a homeowner's mind of like, this is their home where they're going to be.
The funny thing on that one was it's her winter home, because she was a snowbird, so she doesn't even live in it 24/7. She's only here for 5 months or 6 months of the year. So
who knows? Maybe someone was cutting onions in the garage or something. That
could have been.
Could have been. I hope I didn't ruin that memory for you.
Onions on the sandwiches.
Dude, we've been going over style. From modern, what windows can do. Bridgeport's his favorite door. Yeah. All the way to like customer experiences and kind of what to consider. So, encompassing everything we've gone over, is there a final message on this subject that you'd like the audience to know?
The customer is going to want what the customer wants. It's your job as a technician. It's our job to get out there to find out what the customer wants and make that dream for them come true. A lot of times we're out there and we just push the door that's easiest available or cheapest, or we can have it installed tomorrow, and sometimes that's what the customer really wants. But you gotta find out and talk to your customers, find out what they want, what's going to work for them, and make that dream happen.
Make dreams happen. That's what we're
Absolutely.
doing. The art of service. Brother, thank you for
Thanks,
coming
John.
on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate
All
you,
right?
man.